Good morning, welcome to Logos Academy. I am Jason Lewis, the headmaster here at Logos Academy. We are York's classical school and delighted to host the mayor and her cabinet for a town hall meeting. If we can be of any service while you're here, I know there's treats and snacks and stuff out in the hallway that the mayor and her office have brought, and there's restrooms just around the corner, and my staff are available for tours afterwards if you're interested in it.
Great. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for coming out today. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate being here, you hosting us, and for that introduction as well, too. We're, as he's indicated, the entire administration is here this morning to talk with you and listen with you and hear your concerns. We're excited about this town hall meeting. It's the first of this year. We've been a little busy, but we have another one scheduled in September at 7 o'clock in the evening to get folks who are home in the evening. We're here today, this morning. We've had one before in the morning, and we're here to hear concerns from folks who are at home or are seniors or what have you that are colleagues or workers who came out today to be here. So thank you all for being here, and stay tuned for the more information about the next one that we're going to have. Again, thank you to Logos for your generosity in hosting us today and providing the opportunity for many in the community to even tour your facility. Logos has become a community center in some regards, as they've allowed many activities to be held here, many that I've attended myself. So thank you all for being here. And for the record, I enjoy locating our town hall meetings in the community. They're town hall meetings, and they're about the community, for the community, where our people reside, and varying the times. Again, as I indicated, to try to accommodate everyone. I know in this job I'm not going to please everybody or accommodate everyone, but I do try. But this is, again, our second one we've had during the day for that very reason. But since taking office, we've held town hall meetings at William Penn Senior High School, Allen Park. We had one outside at Allen Park. You guys remember that one? It was a little hot too. The United Way, at one of our fire stations, Lincoln Fire Station, also in our new city council chambers, and at Lincoln Charter School. So we go around. We go around the city, and again, excited to be here. And thank you to all of our past hosts and future hosts, because we will call you. An opportunity to share with the community your venue, and for us to get out into a different part of the city each time. So as always, there is a lot of things I need to mention before we get into hearing from my cabinet and hearing from you all as well. But there are a host of things going on, a host of accolades the city has received too, if you haven't kept up with that. One of the ones I'm very excited about is our Let's Move York initiative. And I'm encouraging everyone to sign up for that. We're trying to lose 5,000 pounds as a community and log in about 350,000 minutes of activity by the end of September. So I don't have a lot of time to get a lot more people signed up, but there's plenty of room for you to do just that. With this is our Weight Watchers Healthy Communities Grant opportunity that we're going to be receiving in the future as well too. So we need folks to really sign on and be part of that. That's going to allow folks within our community to be part of the Weight Watchers movement, to hopefully lose weight, become more physically fit, and all of those things. So please go to our website, yorkcity.org, and look for our Let's Move initiative and sign on. Join in with us and get physical. I believe, Iguina, did you bring it? She brought something, my little personal 10-minute regimen that I wanted to share with folks as well too. So that's out there at our table with all the other information we have too for you. So you can take a look at what I do 10 minutes a day when I can. I haven't been able to do a lot lately, but there's quick ways to stay active, and I have that out there. Next Tuesday, the 23rd, will be my 4th annual FaithNet Summit. It will be at the Yorktown Hotel beginning at 8:30 a.m. and it will go until about noon, or a little afternoon, because we have a keynote speaker at lunchtime. We are thankful and grateful for Dacio Office Solutions for helping to sponsor this event. It is a partnership with the Black Ministers Association of York County. This year, our focus will be highlighting the changes that have been made in our community through joint collaborations and partnerships with our faith community and private public organizations. So there's going to be sessions and workshops and breakouts about leading up to the keynote speaker on that very issue. And it is exciting because our faith community is strong in the York County area, and they've stepped up in varying ways to really assist with a number of initiatives. So we are happy about being able to have this event again. On Saturday, August the 24th, and all this information is on our website as well too, and I believe we probably have flyers out front. I'm really excited about it, so I want to just share them publicly with you as well too. But on Saturday, August the 24th, from noon to 4 at Sovereign Bank Stadium, the Brooke Robinson Plaza area, we are initiating a Leading the Give effort. And this is where we've invited community organizations, those who are in the business of giving things and providing services to the community, to this event to provide to our community just that very thing, services and opportunities for folks to receive free haircuts, some counseling, maybe some resume opportunities to be honed in on, or job opportunities. We will have some free entertainment, family entertainment as well too. So it is August the 24th from noon to 4. And again, this is another initiative through the FaithNet initiative, but more of a partnership with our social service agencies. And in September, I'm proud to announce that our second annual Latino Summit will be held. And that is a collaboration with the York County Hispanic Coalition. And it will be September the 21st at our ICE Arena from 10 a.m. to noon. There will be keynote speakers, activities leading up to it, a whole evening of activity actually. They're going to have a Latino fair in the evening, and this helps with scholarships for many in our Hispanic community as well too. So we're asking folks to come out and participate with that. There will be a night of heritage that evening, a silent auction and dinner that will benefit the scholarship fund that I mentioned as well too. So stay tuned, check in on our website for all of this information because it is there. And we continue to move forward with our initiatives that we launched when I took office, the 9 and 9 initiative, everything from trying to improve our customer service, our partnerships with varying organizations, again, our school district, our logos, all of our schools in the community, as well as your college and HAC. So you can find our progress with these initiatives on our website as well too. And finally, my Take 10 on Tuesday. It is Thursday and it is hot, but there's some trash outside. So we encourage folks to take 10 minutes on Tuesday to help keep our city clean. It's working. I see it. I see a difference, and people are telling me that as well. If you just take a few minutes, pick up the litter in front of your own place, in front of you as you're walking, it does make a tremendous difference in our community. So I want to thank everyone for that, for being part of that as well. So those are some of the highlights of a number of activities we've launched, and the progress of them is going on through the mayor's office. I want to take this time right now, though, to introduce to some, not too many, I'm sure, most of us know him. Our representative for the 95th District, Representative Kevin Schreiber, is with us, and we are very appreciative of him being here, the work he's already doing on behalf of our community at the state level. And hello.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
And thank you to the Mayor's Cabinet. Just wanted to very briefly say hi to everyone. Thank everyone for all of the support that we've received to date. I am the new state representative for the 95th District, and I've been having a blast so far and really enjoying it, and was dropped right into the state budget process. So we just finished the process, the whole budget, which is a long, arduous process in June. Got it done, so now I'm back in York and really focusing on the district office. I appreciate the mayor giving me a little chance just to introduce myself to those that I don't know. I'll be around afterwards and happy to talk with you. And I wanted to bring the district office staff along too, to introduce these individuals that are now working for you, for all of you folks. And I appreciate we've gotten a tremendous outpouring of support And over these last couple weeks, I'm only 6 weeks on the job, so bear with us as we get our district office up and running and really working for you. Just a couple quick notes. We did move district offices. Previously, you might have been at our now Auditor General, Eugene D. Pasquale's old office in the Marketway building right on Continental Square. We moved one block up and are renting space from City Hall. So it was a way that we can actually rent and throw some cash towards the city, which is a good thing. And it is a convenient and an accessible location. It has plenty of parking. We've had constituents come in already that have been grateful that there's adequate accessible parking. And there's been some good synergy. We had an individual just this week or last week that came in to talk to us about a housing issue, and we were able to walk her right over to the city's Bureau of Housing Services. So there's some good synergies that are happening already, but you may need us for issues with PennDOT, for issues with unemployment, for issues with LIHEAP, which is the Low-Income Housing Energy Program, or the Property Tax and Rent Rebate Program. So if those are things that you think might apply to you, and you want to know a little bit more about, stop by. We have a table out here as well, and are happy to talk about some of those programs. So the state budget process is done. It's not the best budget that I think we could be doing for Pennsylvania, and we all know that education has received significant cuts in funding over the past couple of years, and that was true for this year's budget. So we're going to continue to work on what I believe is our best investment in Pennsylvania, which is investing in our next generation of Pennsylvanians. So that's something that we're going to continue to fight for and continue to fight for. We know that is very critical in New York City, specifically with the recovery process going on. So our office is open for business. It's open Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock to 4:30. And as I said, the district office staff, Kyle, Camilla, and Karen, will be here afterwards. I can introduce you guys. We have business cards. We have flyers out there as well. And we will be having an open house for our district office on Tuesday, August 20th from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So you all are welcome to come out. There'll be more a press release later and an e-newsletter. If you'd like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we're doing for you, if you have internet access, you can go to pahouse.com/Schreiber. And again, we have that information out there. Sign up for my e-newsletters. Try to keep you up to date. If you're on Facebook, you can follow us on Facebook, and we can keep you in the loop. So feel free to call us, 717-848-9595. The number hasn't changed. We're really happy to be working for you folks. So thank you. Take advantage of the resources, and we're going to continue to work hard in coordination with the city's efforts, with our boroughs and townships, to try to really reform some of the government in Pennsylvania and get some good things going for our small communities. So thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin. Did you bring anything free? No.
We have a whole host of free flyers.
We brought light bulbs in case you all didn't know that. You need to get one or two to show your ID, and you're entitled to them. We also have some healthy food selections out there. I think Kevin's office has a bunch of chocolate.
Yes.
But we have healthy food selections. But okay. Thank you, and congratulations again. We're honored that you are here and honored that you're our representative. Look forward to working closely with you for the years to come. So the cabinet is here. We're just going to go down the line here and hear updates from the different departments. Lieutenant Utley is here for Chief Caley today, who is on vacation. And then Michael O'Rourke in his pink is joining us. Shilvosky Buffaloe is holding down the fort in our Department of Community and Economic Development as we transition from Kevin's win in his election. And we're happy he's with us as well. Chief Michaels, our leader of our fire department, who we are appreciative of always, the work that he and his troops do. And of course, Jim Gross, holding us down at the end there, taking care of everything for us. And we appreciate you being here as well, too. So we'll just begin with Lieutenant Utley and hear from our police department. And we only have one mic.
Thanks. Good morning. For those of you who don't already know me, my name's Lieutenant Tim Utley, and as the mayor stated, Chief Caley's not available today, so I'm going to present a few things he wanted me to present and talk a little bit about some of the things from an enforcement standpoint that I am more familiar with since my present position. Main thing he wanted me to talk about this morning, and what I'm starting off with, is the department's community outreach programs. Speaking yesterday with Lieutenant Fells, I'm sure a lot of you guys in the community are familiar with that, with him. He gave me a list of things, and I'm going to pick some highlights out, especially since coming up here in the first week in August is the National Night Out. Along with that, on his sheet, I pointed out the neighborhood block watch associations, because I look at that as being all tied in together. That's going to be on August 6th, and the department takes the lead by organizing community groups, churches, neighborhoods, and businesses to help celebrate crime prevention. It's not a one-night thing. Crime prevention, obviously, for us and for you also, is a 365-day, 24-hour-a-day thing. Coming in here this morning, I was able, I'm moving into a new position where I'll be overseeing and organizing the department's patrol efforts. And I got to speak to a couple of residents from out in the East End already this morning that brought me some issues that need to be addressed. And I'm going to go back tomorrow morning in our staff meeting, and my first week out, I get to address some things already. So that's a good thing. For me, that's a good thing that's come out of this already today. Under the neighborhood watches, once again, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Summertime, it's hot so far this summer. I know things have been, I don't want to jinx ourselves, but we've been fairly fortunate. And hopefully I just didn't shoot myself in the foot doing that. If we can ride out the rest of the summer, things being what they are for major crimes, I think we'll be good. Our narcotics division, specifically this summer, has been very busy. We've seen an uptick in what I'll describe as drug usage of heroin. They've made some really good large-scale arrests of large-scale suppliers. They've taken so far just this summer, from June forward, over $50,000 in street value of heroin out of commission. So they really are doing a bang-up job. And along with that, it's the people coming forward. We can't, and I always stress this, and I'm sure the chief does, and to me, it's policing 101. We can only do so much without community involvement. And I think our successes are in direct relation to community involvement. And that's like speaking with the residents from the East End this morning. Sometimes people get frustrated and don't want to call because they don't feel they're getting, they're not getting a solution right there and then. And sometimes our guys, are to blame for that. But I will say this, if you don't keep calling and you don't keep giving information, our production shuts down. And our production is in direct relation to your safety. Back on the community programs, one of the big things we have going so far this summer is the youth outreach program that's run at the Martin Memorial Library. That's set up to give the youth an opportunity to create a positive relationship with the police officers while in a safe environment. These things run for like 3 hours. I think they run twice a week. The officers will come in on their off-duty time. The department, I think, purchased several gaming systems, which is the big thing kids like to do today. So they're looking to reach the kids that way. So the officers will come in, they'll play the video games with them. Many of the kids so far this year, the feedback I got yesterday was that they make it a point to be at each session. And as this is going on, they've noticed that they have a lot more rapport with the kids. And I think that gives us a positive look in their eyes. It's that when they see the police, they'll be more apt to come up and open up some communication instead of having that polarization that sometimes happens between the kids and the police. Some nights, not every night, they set up a thing where they bring in pizza and air conditioning and video games, prime environment. The kids love it. So that's been a very successful program for us. The big program, which has been going on for several years, I can remember being involved in it when I was on patrol is the summer bowling program that the community service has set up. And what they do is they'll actually provide transportation to get the kids out to the bowling alley out at, I think they still run it at Colony Park. And that has actually beat the numbers that they projected was going to be involved in it this year. So once again, I think that shows a positive that this thing has been able to go on for as long as it has. And it's always a positive, as I remember it, it was always a very positive interaction with the kids. The officers enjoy coming out and doing it. The kids come, there's a meal provided, I think halfway through at the bowling alley, and it's always a very positive interaction. So to close out, like I said, our next big thing coming up is going to be the National Night Out on August 6th. And I'm sure the whole command staff from the police department's going to be out there walking around and meeting and greeting. And that's
Great.
all I have.
Thank you. We're going to wait to the end to answer any questions. So if you want to jot down anything that you might have for the police department, make sure you hold on to it. We'll move right into Michael O'Rourke, our business administrator. And there are seats up here, please. I mean, not all the way in the front even. So if you want to have a seat, please come on in.
I'll put some business cards out there.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to be here. A lot better being in here than outside. In the business administration department, we've been doing a lot of stuff over the last year. In finance, something you may have heard a lot about is our sewer collection effort. Over the years, a large unpaid sewer bill accrued from folks who were either not paying their bill at all or only paying part of their bill. And of course, what that did is required everybody who was paying their bill to pay more, because it cost money to treat wastewater, and it had to be paid for. So if some folks weren't paying, the other folks had to pay their share. So we made a big push last year. We provided an amnesty for a month. That was the mayor's idea. I'm not an amnesty type person. I would have just went right after him, but the mayor's heart is bigger than the room. So we had amnesty, and it was quite impressive. We had lines going out the door, phones in all over City Hall ringing incessantly. At the end of that, the end of the year, we ended up increasing revenue for 2012 by $1.3 million for sewer. And we are, when we moved out of the amnesty period, we told folks, well, we're not going to give you a break on the interest or penalties anymore. We'll give you a payment plan, but you're going to have to pay the whole bill. And we continue to post property every week. 50, 60, 70 parcels get posted that if they don't make arrangements to pay the bill, the water will be turned off. We've established a partnership with the water company so that we use their posters who post for delinquent water bill customers. They post for our sewer bills also now. And that's working out very well. It saves us money because we don't have to hire a person, and the people who do the work are very experienced because they do it all the time. And going hand in hand with that, like the amnesty, we have a sewer rebate program that most folks don't know about because it's been many, many years since it was promoted and updated. Right now, the finance office is working to update the sewer rebate program. It's for senior citizens who make less than a certain amount of money per year. That's one of the things that's being updated, is the threshold for folks to get rebates. And there's a sliding scale, so within a certain range of income, you get a certain proportion of your sewer bill reimbursed from the city. If you're interested in that program, please sign up at the desk where you came into the building. Put your name and email address, or your name and your address and phone number. And as soon as City Council approves the final version, we will notify everybody, send them applications so that they can take advantage of that program. With the new move to the new building, a great deal of new and innovative things have been happening with our Information Services Bureau. Back when we moved into the digital age at the late 90s and early 2000s, we had bought all new servers. Everybody had new PCs. We had all new operating systems. And over the years, as we've tried squeezing a dollar in order to keep the city's budget as low as possible, we've let those things age. And over the last couple of years, we've recognized that that is impacting on our ability to provide efficient and effective services to our citizens and other customers of the city. So we embarked on a project of improving those things, tied in with the move to the new city hall, and most of it funded through ways that don't have any new impacts on the city budget. So for example, we have a brand new server room in the new city hall, and it is what we call our cloud. It has a great deal of server capacity that we have never had before, and it was paid for through the energy savings program. So the money that was spent on upgrading the server system and the network improvements are being covered by the cost savings that come from having upgraded a lot of that stuff, and from energy savings and operation savings that come from having this new technology on board. All of the city's workstations have been replaced. We did that with through an agreement with Dell to do a lease purchase arrangement for the new PCs. Many people at City Hall were working with PCs that were 8, 10, 12 years old. And any of you who use computers on a regular basis know that that's the same as riding on 83 in a horse and buggy. It was pretty bad. So everybody has a new workstation. We have laptops now that are configured so that if you have to take your laptop home to do work, you can take it home, turn it on, and if you have a network in your house, it will use the network to log into the city network, so you have the same ability to work at home as you have when you're sitting at your desk in City Hall or wherever, whatever city facility you work at. We're also in the process of upgrading to what's called a Metro E network. So the network for the city will be all fiber. And by doing that, we're able to eliminate a bunch of different kinds of configured connections between various city facilities, so that at the end, it's going to cost less than our current or then current network configuration, but the capacity of the network will be many times more than what it is now, and much faster. We're embarking on a program to acquire new, what we call enterprise software. This is the financial management system we use, the human resources system that we use, and other kinds of management applications that are used throughout the city. We have some things like OnBase that's going to allow our property maintenance inspectors to access the city network from out in the field using an iPad mini or an iPad. That saves time, so folks don't have to wonder if they brought the right papers they needed with them. They'll be able to get into the city network, into the city database, to be able to pull whatever information that they need. I can sit at home on my back porch with a glass of lemonade or something, and with an iPad mini, I can review purchase orders, I can attend to email, so that, this is a good thing because I'm able to attend to things that need immediate attention without having to travel into City Hall. Of course, that means that the mayor can get me anytime she wants and make me work. But it really is a good efficiency application to be able to do that. And I think just about every department in the city is using some aspect of these IS improvements. One of the things that finance and IS are working on together with Fulton Bank and their provider, a company called FIS, is to be able to take online payments. The first thing we're going to, the first three payment types that we're going to get online are sewer and refuse, parking tickets, and people who pay for parking through the, by buying a monthly pass or something like that. And then we'll be moving other payment types online. The fire department collects payments for inspections and for licensing for tenant-occupied property. We'll be able to do that online. Police department gets payments for, say, false burglar alarms or other kinds of services that they're actually paid for by maybe the housing authority or some other entity for providing security at public events or extra security in areas where the city activity needs the extra attention. They'll be able to pay them online. They'll be able to pay real estate taxes online. But nobody really likes paying real estate taxes, so we didn't think they'd be eager to pay it online. It's kind of further down the list of ones to accomplish. The ones we're focusing on first are the ones where people make payments every month or more frequently for people who park wherever they want and don't make arrangements. We expect in the next couple of months, 2-3 months, that we'll have those 3 online payment processes effective for folks to use. In the Parking Bureau, we have completed the physical and almost all of the technological upgrades of the 3 parking garages. The technology in the garages now allows for us to have periods of time where it's not staffed, but still be able to have people use the garage and pay to leave. There are folks that are transient parkers come into the city for a brief time, might want to park in the garage, and when they would be leaving, the garage would be closed. So now they can still get out. They can pay with a credit card without a cashier being there. And we'll be able to provide some other improvements in services as we more fully implement the technology that's there. For example, the system has the capacity that when you pull into a garage, if you're a transient parker, you could stick your credit card in rather than take a ticket. And when you leave, you stick your credit card in and it'll charge the credit card. Has to be the same credit card. But it avoids having to get a ticket and then having to give the ticket to the cashier and do that. You can get out faster. And if you ever use the Philadelphia Street Garage, you can see that we now have three ways of exiting from the garage. You can go by the cashier, you could go through another lane to pay with a credit card, or you can go through a lane and pay if you're a monthly customer with an access card. We're moving now to other new technologies in the Parking Bureau. You may have read in the newspapers in the last few months that we did a pilot program with what are called smart meters. These are parking meters that operate on solar power, and they will take credit cards, telephone payments, or coins for time instead of everybody having to lug rolls of quarters around in their pocket. This will also allow us to do what's called rate planning, so that we can identify places in the city where there's a great deal of demand for on-street parking and have the rate to park there higher than in places where there's not a big demand for parking. So one set of meters may generate $5 a day, another meter may generate $8 a day, and another one may generate $3 a week. So the $3 a week meter, you could make a lower price. The ones that are constantly in demand, you make a higher price. And it makes a greater array of convenience parking available to folks based upon how much they'd like to pay or how much they'd like to avoid paying. And along with this is a review of the meter districts in the city. There are places where meters are kind of outdated. They were once businesses where there was a great deal of turnover in parking. Now it's residential and there's not the big turnover. And other places where it is now commercial and there is a demand for parking. And we need turnover so that the customers of the businesses are able to get parking within a reasonable distance of the location they're going to. So the general authority, along with the mayor, will be taking a comprehensive revision to the parking meter ordinance to City Council sometime probably before the end of the year, to take places off of the meter district and add other new places onto the meter district. In HR, they're continuing to work on the timekeeping system that we're updating, that will use things like retinas and fingerprints and stuff like that to identify who's clocking in or who's clocking out from work. And for those of you who don't know, who may be interested in working for the city, you can see city jobs that are available on the city website, and you can apply for them online. And last but certainly not least, WRCT, channels 18 and 16, are always finding ways to improve the delivery of information and on those two channels. There is a public access component of WRCT for folks who have something they dearly want to say to as many people as possible. You can make a DVD and have it set up so that it fits the time functions of the TV channel, and we will play it so that you can tell folks what's on your mind or what you think other people should have on their minds. And there's also, those who don't know, there's a brand new state-of-the-art studio that WRCT operates from. You may have noticed over the past couple of years a great improvement in the quality of the video experience and the audio experience. And I'm sure that if you'd like to see it, you can call Steve Bush, and Steve will show you the studio. Steve, show your face. There he is. There's Steve Bush. Him and Cliff Kern are the wizards that keep WRCT working. It's two people. They keep WRCT working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And needless to say, they're not 40-hour-a-week employees. They work continually. So call them if you'd like to see our new studio. And that's all I have. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Michael. Shilvosky.
Thank you. You're a tough act to follow, as well as Kevin. What I hope to do this morning, my name is Shilvosky, Buffaloe. I do answer to Sean, and I'm not offended if you do happen to call me by my last name. I know the first name is a bit of a challenge to most, and it's a little awkward considering my heritage. But that being said, I hope to hit on the high notes in terms of the projects and the department reports that we've had over the upcoming events and projects for the year. But really, more than anything, I want to discuss our continued focus on strengthening the neighborhoods and supporting various projects and programs throughout the city across the 4 bureaus that we have under this particular department, specifically the Bureau of Health, the Bureau of Housing Services, Permits, Planning, and Zoning, and the Department of Economic and Community Development. So that being said, a few of the pet projects that we've had and continue to push forward are really supportive of some of the work that's already taken place throughout the community. And I'd like to start with a discussion briefly on Old Town East. You may recall 2006, 2007, it was the first designated Elm Street community within the context of Pennsylvania. And over the last year or two, we've worked continually to try to strengthen that neighborhood and further investment and investor confidence in that particular area. And as such, we've worked with a specific developer over the past year to really look at the area that buttresses east of the central business district, but yet west of that redevelopment area. And it's been titled and aptly branded Royal Square, which is defined as King Street to the north, Princess Street to the south, Duke Street to the west, and Queen Street to the east. Specifically over the last year and a half, we've been fortunate enough to have a public benefactor contribute funds which have been utilized to purchase 2 nuisance bars within the immediate area and some other individual blighted properties that have been one-offs. And so far, I'd like to say that in conjunction with what the Redevelopment Authority has been able to amass over the last 20 years, in addition to what the city's general authority has in terms of parking and what this particular developer has acquired of his own volition, we have roughly 2/3 of that block under site control. and look forward to, over the next year, with the mayor's direction, of launching a Lot 11 advisory task force to discuss potential synergies on how we can redevelop that area and make it impactful, and again, continue to strengthen and buttress that work that's already taken place in Old Town East. Moving along to another specific area on the west end, ambitiously in 2008, the city sought to obtain a second Elm Street designation from the Commonwealth. Unfortunately, due to budget constraints and other issues that arose politically at that time, our grant application was unsuccessful, but that didn't stop us from actually moving forward to try to pursue a way to take that energy, that effort, and that momentum and spin off at least some direction with Salem Square neighborhood. And over the last 2 or 3 years, we've had several community stakeholders step up, specifically from the faith-based community, to really help and assist the municipality in trying to get some semblance of control and effort to stabilize the neighborhood in and of itself. Specifically, the YMCA did a lion's share of work in terms of demolishing buildings on Southwest Street and renovating 10 houses on West Princess Street. But the primary impetus of a lot of our efforts over the last year have really focused on the acquisition of Gus's and figuring out how to reposition that asset. Specifically, we've recently reached out and received at least a nod and a wink from the Commonwealth, from the Department of Community and Economic Development specifically, that we may be a recipient for $250,000 of grant funds that we can use to renovate the first floor commercial space of that building. It doesn't take much in terms of keystrokes and doing an internet search to see that Gus's has been a challenging building, to say the least, over the last 10 years or 20 years of its existence in that neighborhood. But I can say, and probably Lieutenant Utley can back this up, with our purchase of that bar, a lot of the activities that were taking place in that immediate intersection have been abated to some degree. It's not necessarily perfect, but it has been abated to some degree. And we hope that with these funds, in conjunction with other monies that we have from our municipal entitlement, that we can hopefully renovate that building and make it a destination of some sort, or at least some sort of anchor that will give some stability further to the block and the investment that takes place in that area. But that's not the only component that we have specifically there. We've partnered with the York Habitat for Humanity to launch a novel facade improvement program. So far to date, Habitat has been successful in renovating at least 4 properties, and that goes to the extent of the front facades, of being able to scrape and paint exterior facades, some modest investment in terms of replacing porches, balconies, stairs, handrails, guards. In some instances, some of the issues that were dealing with the exterior portion of the building that needed some serious abatement. But those 2 elements have really been going very well, more greater than what I've expected in terms of output and the amount of goodwill it's established with the residents in the community. Another project that we worked on stalwartly, and this is one that's near and dear to our representative now, is trying to work with a developer to launch, as an offshoot and an extension of the city's first citywide artist homestead program. When we first initially launched this project, it went towards the purchase and acquisition of a property anywhere within the context of the community for artists to basically use those funds to buy properties within the context of the city of York. It gave us some modest return on investment in terms of the bang for the buck, but rather than roll out a second iteration of it in version 2, we'd like to explore working with the developer ArtSpace in tandem to see if we can encourage them to build an affordable artist housing project within the context of the city of York. ArtSpace is, renowned throughout the nation in terms of their ability to deliver a unique housing experience specifically for artists of any medium. They're slated to come back this year. They've already visited us once earlier in the spring to do at least an initial focus group and study. But they're slated to come back at the end of September, early October, to actually do a full-fledged arts market survey to quantify the demand, to see how many individuals they could cater to in this market, and really justify whether or not that project of that magnitude makes sense. Biased, we think that it's one that's positive and definitely productive in light of all the efforts that have taken place to create an artisan community in the context of the city. We think that this would be another great additional complement. I'd like to give you 2 quick updates on the affordable housing projects that are taking place on College Avenue, starting with George Street Commons. George Street Commons right now has leased, I believe, 5 units on the College Avenue side of the development. They're slated to be complete in September of 2013 with all 28 units, and they're actually taking lease-up and applications from the Housing Development Corporation out of Lancaster, who's serving as their property manager. As you may have recalled, within the last 4 or 5 years, that corner sat really fallow, had some challenges. Wasn't the most appealing on a major thoroughfare, but to actually see something of some mass and some significance at that corner, it's really looking better in terms of the visual aesthetics. Architectural criticisms aside, it's just good to see the fact that we have upwards to potentially 30 families and some energy at that intersection, where before it really was just modest at best. Additionally, on the other side, on the west side of town, the homes at Thaxton Park is being taken place by York Housing Authority. They're slated for completion October of 2013 of this year. That's 30 plus units of some order, where they will move forward into a second phase to demolish the existing Cadorus homes, at least a portion of which along the bank of the creek, and move that project forward. In terms of general startups, business startups and assistance, the city's entering its 8th year of launching the York Business Academy. We have a tentative startup date of September 14th, which will run through November 6th of this year. And a colleague from my office, Tanya Thompson-Morgan, will be doing the signups. We have information out front for additional documentation on that. And as a cursory, just general update from the city's Bureau of Health, I want to give you a quick snapshot. And there's also some supportive documentation at the front desk for this as well. On August 8th, we'll be holding free shingles vaccines from 10 to 4 for residents 60 years of age or older. And they can contact the health center with the information outside. But I'll give you the number now, 717-849-2299. And additionally, Play Streets is at Albemarle Park this coming Saturday, June 20th from 12 to 4. And this is an opportunity again for residents to come out and play. And there will be a flyer out front for that. I look forward to any questions that you might have of me after this discussion. And if I spoke a little too fast, I apologize. I am a little nervous.
Okay, good morning, and I'll just give you a briefing of some things going on in the fire department. First of all, the year has been busy for the firefighters. Year to date, we've responded to 1,459 fire calls, emergency calls. Also, this week was busy with fires on East Philadelphia Street and Prospect Street. Fortunately, the firefighters got there quickly, were able to enter the homes and extinguish those fires quickly before they were able to spread any further down the rows. We've been busy with getting our training and certifications up to date, getting them to a professional level. We just had 10 firefighters certify as state certified firefighter 2. So again, really looking for that, that we're going to provide you a well-trained, competent professional fire department. We're in the process now of through the state that we'll be recognized as a participating department. And again, we're to the point where I believe it's only 3 firefighters we have that do not have a state certification, and they're the ones that have been on 30 plus years that they never had these certifications when they came on the job. So we're proud of that we're getting these certifications and professional development going for our firefighters. We also, we're gonna have 2 firefighters going to the fire academy this fall. And also when we send them there, they do come out with Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, and EMT certification as well. So again, that ensures that you are getting that professional service when we do respond. Our fire department, we have continued and we are still working with North York Borough. We do provide fire protection to North York. It's been good for both fire departments. North York has a lot of young firefighters. They're eager to train. We're training together. We're also excited. We're going to try a regional grant. We're going to try to go into a grant. We're finding that they're seeing more successes if you can go in with partners. So we're going to be trying to do that. And hopefully, again, it'll be beneficial for both municipalities as we work through that. The firefighters have been really involved in charity work this past year. You've probably seen a lot of them out doing some good things. Again, they're there to respond to emergencies when you need us, but also we understand that we want to be part of the community and give back as much as we can. Some of the things we did last October, and most likely we're going to do it again this October for Cancer Awareness Month. The firefighters were wearing pink T-shirts, and then what they did they were selling those as well to be a supporter. And then they raised, I think it was over $3,000 for cancer research on that. So that was a a good amount. They had a very successful food drive this past Easter. A lot of the community, we asked for help. The community pitched in on that, and that went a lot better than we thought. We were able to go out to some families in need and provide that food. And look forward to Thanksgiving. We look like we're going to put something together, another program similar to what we did in Easter. So that went well, and the firefighters again are happy to be involved in that part of it. Our fire prevention side of the house, we do continue to handle the property licensing and inspection program. The inspection or the fire prevention also is involved in the civil enforcement unit, and that's a unit within the city. It's cooperation between all city departments. It's a chance to get together, find out some quality of life issues that are going on, some problems going on, and able to address those with all departments, not just the fire department. Part of that, you probably hear some of our clean sweeps that take place throughout the city. There will be another one coming up, and typically with those clean sweeps, there's a pre-sweep, which is going to be August 14th. It's scheduled right now. The team would go out to the neighborhood, just do some preliminary work, and then the full sweep is going to be August 21st. So again, that's not just the fire department, but we work with other departments to try to handle some quality of life issues in neighborhoods. And I think I did mention, yeah, there's no, that area is not picked yet for August. I think the team is working to find that location. Michael O'Rourke had mentioned some of the technology things going on in the city. We are using the iPads, and we are finding more and more every day that we can do with these. One of the things we're working on now is when our inspectors go out, we actually have our inspection forms right on here as we would. So as they're out there writing now, they can use these, pull the form up. It has voice recognition. They could actually speak into it, replace smoke detector, whatever the violation is. We believe this is really going to make, we want to improve the efficiency of that fire prevention office. This is going to eliminate losing paperwork, not knowing where things are. We could email reports to the landlords, to the owners. We can email it out to our firefighters going out to do the rechecks. So we see a lot of benefits, and again, we continue to work on that daily. We're finding more and more we can do. There is a CERT training. CERT is a Community Emergency Response Team. That training is going to take place August the 13th through September the 10th. They're Tuesday evenings. It's going to be every Tuesday evening in that time frame from 6:30 to 10, and it's going to be held at our Station 9 on Roosevelt Avenue. Just a little background on the Community Emergency Response Team. They're civilians that would come in and get some training on disaster, building collapse, fires, any type of dangers. And the intent of that is, should there be some type of major disaster, whether natural or man-made, the emergency responders are going to be taxed. There's going to be a lot going on, a lot that's going to be handled, and these community emergency response teams would actually be able to do some work. Again, they get the basic training. This is not unique to York or to Pennsylvania. You see these throughout the country, and some of the recent disasters, some of these CERT teams have actually been put to work. So the only requirement is you must be 18 years of age, and you do have to pre-register for this class. There are some applications that are out on the table today. If anybody's interested, you could also get those through our office, contacting the fire chief's office, and also if you go to the York County website, the York County EMA, the applications are available with that. And this is it's part of us, the city fire department and the county working together for this class, so that will be available. Again, some of the technology things we've been working on. Deputy Chief Halpin has been doing a lot of work on our website. Please feel free to go to our website. You can go to York City, www.yorkcity.org. Go to the fire department. We really updated that, put some current information on it. And if you have any suggestions of anything you would like to see on there that would help the public, please let us know. We're trying to put on things, for example, the property maintenance code is on there. A lot of the contractors need the specs of our fire hose when they put in fire department connections. We have that available. Again, things that are friendly, that may help you, we're trying to get onto that website and update that as we can. We do have a Twitter page, and actually my iPad's going off here. I think we're being tweeted at. That has been very successful for us. As a lot of our friends in the media that are here today, what we try to do is if we get out to an emergency, when we can, I mean, a lot of times we're busy initially, we try to just tweet out some information, where we are, what the fire is, if roads are closed, just some basic information. And again, where it's been successful is, as I said, a lot of our friends in the media retweet that or get that out on their news websites right away. It helps, if an area is going to be closed down, we have streets closed. It's also good, we've been using, putting some tips out, safety tips. Extremely hot days coming up this week. We know we have some cooling station open at the Salvation Army. We were able to put that information out. Some tips to in the heat to stay safe, as well as some fire safety tips. We also do have a department Facebook page. Again, we're using that, try to get some good information out. Obviously with the Twitter, those that are familiar with that now, you are limited in your characters. The Facebook, we can get a little bit more detailed information on. So again, we try to update that as we can with some events that are coming up. Also, just like to take a moment to mention, next July, this time next year, York is going to be hosting the Can-Am Police and Fire Games. We're expecting a lot of tourists, a lot of people coming to York. Anybody interested in volunteering with that, helping with that, please let someone know. There's information out on that. Actually, Chief Cayley is doing a lot with that. He's going to, I guess, be sort of the incident commander of that event. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. We think that's going to be great. Well, we know it's going to be great for our community. We're going to have a lot of police, a lot of firefighters in town that week. So please look for more information coming up on that. And finally, a little bit about our smoke detector program. We have a very successful smoke detector program going where when we get a call, we actually send the firefighters out on fire trucks to install smoke detectors. To date, since we've had this going, we've installed over 6,000 smoke detectors and over 1,400 batteries. The program has been going so well that we are currently out of smoke detectors. I'm asking if anybody would like to help us with that. Any donations would be appreciated. In the past, we have gotten smoke detectors through grants. We've had some anonymous donors donate some money that we were able to purchase at a discount, smoke detectors. So I'll ask if anybody knows anybody, send them our way. We'd like to get our stock back up, but we are currently totally out of smoke detectors. Again, it shows you how successful that was. And it's just a reminder that we look at all the time. I think we all know our friends over in Lancaster, what they just went through several weeks ago, 7 people killed in a house fire. What I'm hearing now, no smoke detectors were in that house. And there's a department also that has a very successful smoke detector program that all people just have to do is call and ask. So, anybody that has anybody willing to donate to us or help us with that program, please let us know. And the firefighters are willing to go out. They go out. We have kits made up. They have toolboxes with their drills, and they take a little ladder out. And what that does is we know that smoke detectors are getting in the right locations, the right number, the right places in homes, and they do make a difference. They do make a difference. So thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Just a few brief comments on some projects in the Department of Public Works. We are continuing to work on the renovation of our police station at 50 West King Street, which is the former City Hall building. It is a $5 million project. We received funding for that through the state capital budget program, so it is not costing the taxpayers any dollars. We are about 50% complete with the project. Our completion date remains March 1 of 2014, so by next spring, hopefully we'll be dedicating a new police station. Our end goal is really just to have a good, functional station for our police officers to work in. They've suffered through some very difficult conditions for many, many years, and hopefully we're going to have a real nice facility for them to be able to function. And right now, they are being very patient with us because we are obviously working in the building which they are occupying, and they have to continue to do their jobs. So we thank Captain Utley and all the police officers for their patience as we work through this process. A couple paving projects we got going right in the near future. We'll be paving some portions of Belvedere Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, and on East King Street. Hopefully we'll be completing that by the end of August. A couple other state grants that we've been able to get, which hopefully you'll be seeing some results from. We did receive a DEP recycling grant, and we're going to be using those funds to purchase new recycling containers. We're going to go to a 32-gallon container, which if you currently have a yard waste container, it will be identical to that, other than it'll be green and we'll have a recycling logo on it. So we encourage you to recycle. Hopefully with a larger container, you will do that. The container should be a little more sturdy also. The yard waste containers tend to hold up and last pretty long, so this new recycling container should last a long time. If your apartment or complex isn't big enough, your home isn't big enough to handle one of the larger containers, we also will continue to have the 25-gallon more common recycling containers, and we will be distributing all of those, so you will get one for free. Our waste contractor is going to be required to distribute one of those to each resident. So look for that hopefully in the fall of the year. You'll be getting a new recycling bin. We also received an automated red light enforcement grant from Pennsylvania DOT. It is called a red light enforcement grant, but it has nothing to do with red light enforcement for the work that we're going to be doing. Philadelphia is able to use red light enforcement. They generate a lot of revenue. Some of that revenue gets spread out through the state. So we were able to get a grant. We're going to use those funds to improve timing and signal coordination in our two main corridors through the city, which are Market Street and George Street. So again, that's a project that hopefully will get traffic flowing a little bit better through some of our main corridors. And finally, we have two park projects we continue to work on with our partners, BOP, our Bring On Play Committee. We're continuing to work on the Penn Park project. We did build a tot playground there last fall, and we'll hopefully conclude that project probably next spring, where we'll build a youth playground. There will also be a water feature, some type of a splash pad for the kids, a rain garden, and some other improvements. And we are going to build a new playground this fall at Yorktown Park. There'll be some more information forthcoming on that, but BOP is looking for volunteers. So if you have young children, or even if you don't, if you have some time that you can contribute, we always need volunteers to help us. It will be a community build, so members of the community will come out and actually help to build this playground. So it will be in September. More information, I said, will be forthcoming, but if you'd like to volunteer, we definitely could use your help. And Shilvosky already mentioned, we do have a Play Streets event this Saturday out at Albemarle Park. It's our third Play Street event from 12 to 4. Great for kids and families, so we encourage you to come on out and join us for that day. So, and now I think we want to hear from all of you.
Thank you all so very much. I appreciate the directors and their leadership. They do a tremendous amount of work for the city of York, and you all, I can't say enough about your leadership. Thank you so very much. I just want to emphasize a couple of things that they mentioned, though, re-emphasize again. Jim just mentioned about the Bring On Play build that will be at Yorktown Park in our Fireside neighborhood. You'll hear more information about that, but it is that entity is all volunteers, and we need help to really get that park up and running. And we're excited about it because that's a partnership with a lot of entities, an anonymous sponsor. I believe we can mention the national entity, Jim? Okay, I did. Kaboom, one of our major partners, and with many of our parks, is also helping us with that. So we're excited about that and their ability to help us improve yet another park in the city of York. And that is, again, with Bring On Play, volunteers that live right here in the city, excuse me, sir. And you can find out more information about that and all of this information on our city's website. Chief Michaels mentioned the Can-Am Games. That's Canadian American Games. It's an international event with police and firefighters from all around the world that will be converging on the city of York next year this time. We need sponsors, we need volunteers. It will be an exciting time here in the city of York for sure, but we do need some more sponsors, and we have less than a year to really make this a go. We've been in planning with the visitors, the county's Visitors Bureau, for about 3 years now on this event, and it is a huge event that they are hoping for much success from, as we are. So we are involved, obviously, as a city, and in some leadership roles with it, and excited about them coming to the city of York. So you will hear more about that, obviously, going forward, because it is now officially a year away. And finally, we don't talk enough about all the gyms that we have in the city of York, GEMS gyms. We do have a gym too, Bonnie Grimes, that we all participate in and at. But this one is our softball stadium and arena, Memorial Park area, all the things that we have going on over there. Next week, we will be hosting the National Girls Softball Tournament. It's a national event. They come here every year, at least every year since I've been in office, because I've had the pleasure of throwing out the first pitch to these young ladies. It is at least 500 plus teenage girls here in the city of York from all across the country, mostly the East Coast states, that come here for a softball tournament. It is great softball to watch as well too, and it is open to the public to come out and participate and see these girls in action. So it begins, I believe, next Wednesday or Thursday, goes throughout next weekend, and we need to keep in mind the things that we have happening right here in our community and how we can be better participants of those things as well too. We have folks coming in to use our facilities and be here. We need to be there and have some fun with them as well too. So I just wanted to highlight those three different things that was sort of mentioned as well too. You heard about all the other activity. Again, most of it is on our city's website, and you can contact any one of these directors for detailed information and how best you can get involved. Again, we still have light bulbs and we have some healthy food selections outside too for you. And as Jim said, now is your time. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your concerns, questions, and be able to address them as best we can. If we can't do it today, we will get back to you right away. But it is your time now to talk to your city government. Okay, don't rush. Questions, comments, anything? Kevin? Yes, ma'am.
The project that's happening over here in the Helen Jackson Park area. Now, I heard that today, the York Housing authorities, they have, okay, as far as rental, okay, because at one time, the community was told that the people who were going to be displaced from Cador's Park would have the first options of being able to rent these facilities. Is that still true?
Yeah, we can definitely get detailed information from the Housing Authority for you, but I know Shilvosky, and I'm not going to pick on our representative, but they've been intimately involved with the project. There are different phases of it, and I believe we will see some of that forthcoming, but Shilvosky?
To the best of my understanding, there's a distinction between the housing that presently exists at Cador's Homes, which is subsidized, and the housing that's being constructed at the homes at Thaxton Park, which is labeled affordable.
Okay.
So I don't think there's anything that would preclude an applicant that lives at Cador's Homes to apply to live at Thaxton, but I do not believe, and I will double check and confirm, I do not believe that it's an automatic, you have right of first refusal to move upon the completion of those projects. But I will get an answer. I just need your name and your number and email, and I'll get back to you. But I believe that's the case. And it's largely because of the distinction, because of the types of housing. Subsidized and affordable, though they both have the same perceptual relationship as being low income, there is a distinction between the two.
Okay. Now, okay, the apartments on George Street, are those going to be subsidized or affordable?
Those are also affordable.
Okay.
And they're affordable based off of a band of income in terms of the range. So for example, a single mother with 2 children, I'll just use that as a general example, would have a threshold up to a certain amount of revenue to be able to apply for it and be able to live in that particular unit. If they're over that threshold, then they wouldn't necessarily have the opportunity to avail themselves of that type of housing.
Okay, another question, okay, we're saying affordable.
Yes.
Okay, for those people who do not qualify for affordable, are they still eligible to apply to live there as well?
Certainly. Again, I don't think there's anything automatically that precludes someone from saying, I want to try to live in this accommodation. But due to the guidelines and how I believe it's structured and managed, there may be some distinctions in terms of whether or not you would fit within the criteria to actually be able to qualify to live in that housing. But again, I'll get more detail to you specifically, and I'll point you in the right direction. We need to speak to it just after we get together.
So I have a follow-up question. There are sliding scales a lot of times for folks to pay rent based upon what their income is.
Yes.
There's not a point at which you can elect to pay whatever the full rent would be without any kind of rent support and live there even though you wouldn't qualify for assistance?
One would think that you could potentially, but again, not knowing the inner machinations of how they have it structured, i.e. the property managers, I'm not at liberty to say one way or another, but I would think that they should be able to accommodate that.
Okay, so now the ones on George Street, they're being managed by a company in Lancaster.
Yes, ma'am. Housing Development Corporation.
Okay, and the ones over here, that's through your,
They'll be managed by the York Housing Authority.
okay.
There are a portion of the homes at Paxton Park that are market rate, so they will be open to the public. And I think it's 4 units to start, but remember there's a second follow-up phase to ultimately demolish the Cadorus homes, which are the existing housing projects, the oldest city housing project, and then build not only a greenway park along the waterfront, but then additional housing there where there'll be more market rate available, which is non-affordable, non-subsidized.
Okay, now what about the playground?
That will be part of the park. Part of that park construction along the waterfront will include the play area. And a lot of the equipment was taken down. Some of it was outdated and old, but part of the negotiated agreement between the city and the housing authority was that they raised the funds necessary to rebuild the park and the play area.
Okay.
We didn't keep any equipment, right, Jen?
Yeah, they did. It looks terrible.
Any other questions or comments?
Do you know if there are any plans for the old post office building?
What about it?
If there anything in the works for that?
It is still under, and I didn't hear your exact question, but I can answer. It is still under the ownership of the Postal Service. We've been in contact with them for maintenance. As they vacated, they sort of vacated.
Yeah.
But as recent as last Monday, we were in touch with the Postmaster General here, Mr. Becker, and he assured us that their maintenance folks will continue to take care of it while they have ownership of it. So, yeah.
And then she asked if there was any plans for the development of the building beyond.
And not that I know of right now. I don't know that one seller was, or buyer was still in the picture or not either. So they didn't indicate as if it was. The person was. Thank you. All the time.
Yeah, me too. I'm closer.
Any other questions or comments? Good to see Chad from York College with us today. We're excited about getting ready to meet the president as well, too. Yes. Coming your way.
What?
We'll come your way.
We'll definitely get to connect.
Thank you. Any other questions? We have a lot of good partners here with us too. I mean, other folks that maybe some of the residents don't know that might want to ask them some questions. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but I'm looking right at Landon Nace from our York County Economic Alliance organization who's here. Thank you so very much for being here. We have a city solicitor here with us as well too. Can I announce your new deputy?
Sure.
We have our new Deputy Business Administrator, Michael Dowry, with us here today as well, too. We're excited about that. Cheryl Roscoe, Deputy Director for Parking, and some of her staff. Mary Shaw, to see her. And of course, Kevin and all of his staff, and I indicated Chad Mender here from York College earlier. Good to see you, and of course, our key staff in the back. And again, Douglas Academy, we are so happy that you allowed us to be here with us too. In the back, City Council President Carol Hill Evans has joined us as well too. So Thank you all for being here. We will stick around if any residents or anybody wants to ask us or talk to us privately. We're here for you. We want to make sure you get our cards so you can email, call us anytime that you want as well too. Stay cool. Think of your neighbors too. Make sure they stay cool and family. Thank you all for being here. See what they do with
Very good.
The room that you were sitting in for the town hall meeting is actually our performing arts classroom. So this is where the students get music appreciation, music history. They also learn to play instruments. So starting from kindergarten, they come here out of their classrooms and they get music. Based on the grade, they may be in this room anywhere from 1 time a week up to 3 times a week to come out for music. If you look throughout the halls here, now because it's August and we've taken down most of the artwork, if you come during the school year, the regular school year, you'll see artwork exhibited throughout the school, hanging from the ceilings, on the walls. And these are just some examples of some of the student artwork. So Logos is a classical school, it's liberal arts, so we understand that the arts, both the performing arts and the visual arts, have a big impact on the other subjects. And so we'll always have the arts as part of the general curriculum. We've been in this building for 3 years. Prior to that, the school was housed in 3 different churches. The first was Christ Lutheran, and then later both Asbury and First Presbyterian. And so 3 years we've been in this building. And this is the 15th anniversary of Logos Academy. So we're celebrating a milestone this year, 2013, September 2013 will be 15-year celebration. So you can also look towards a lot of celebratory events we'll be sending out to commemorate 15 years. This is our auditorium. You can go inside. And the room that you sat in for the town hall meeting, that is the backstage to the auditorium. So this auditorium here is where we have our assemblies. The students come in here and we have assemblies. A lot of them are Christian spiritual based assemblies. Oftentimes we might have a speaker coming in from the faith-based community, faith-based community to talk to our students and to do assembly. This particular room houses about 250. And then if we open that air wall, it expands to about capacity of about 350. We also use most of our multi-purpose rooms for public events. It's open to the public to come in. And Logos has 3 pillars. One of those is a community-based school. So inviting the community in for such events like the town hall meeting is something that we do to encourage community to be part of the school. We are a private Christian school, but we don't want to be an insulated or isolated entity in the city. We want to actually integrate to the city. We want to go outside of this building, and we want the building to come inside here. When you open that wall again, it expands to about 350, but the back side of that wall actually is our cafeteria, where our students have a hot lunch. Again, this performing arts classroom serves as the backstage when the students do performances or public come in, and we have a backstage or a green room there. You want to look at something here is the repurposed doors. This building used to be Laverton Recycling, and I know the building is a pretty old building, it's historic, but those doors were repurposed from the old building. All this is new, but we do, there is a part of the historic building that remains, and I'll show you that part also. Now, something key about our cafeteria is, right now you'll see some envelopes there and the way the tables are configured. This is not the way our cafeteria is set up when the school is in session. Again, because we do a lot of community outreach and we have a lot of community coming in, right now there's a camp here that they're actually staying in the building. They've come every year since the building has been open, and they do public service in and around the city. There are students, I believe, from middle school to high school that come. They're part of a Christian organization, and they come in, they stay in the classrooms, they camp out in the classrooms, so you'll get to see some tents pitched in our classrooms where you usually see students and desks and chairs. There'll be tents because, again, this is a community group that comes in, they stay here, they use the cafeteria facility. Our food services department help them with doing all the nutrition and all the lunches and things like that, and they help to serve them lunch and provide that kind of service for them. So we are on a very intentional growth pattern here at the school. We started out with 2 kindergarten classes, so each year we add another class. So we're up to 2 third grades next year, and then we add the extra class for high school. So this is our science lab in there. You might want to take a look in there though. I think it's very impressive. Science lab, and it has one of those mirrors where when the teacher is doing the demonstrations, the students can see everything she's doing. Sort of like one of those cooking mirrors.
What's your total student body population?
Right now it's a little over 230. Now in the fall of the year that will increase because every year we add, we'll be having 2 additional kindergarten classes. So,
And where do you draw students from predominantly?
we draw students, predominantly our student population is from York City.
Okay.
A little over 80% of our students are from York City. The other students are from surrounding counties, townships. We have students, at one time we had a student as far as Harrisburg. Wow. Come in. His parents worked in York. I mentioned, a lot of people think Logos is either a public or charter school. It's actually a private school. So then the question is, well, if you draw most of your population from the city of York, your private school, how are they funded? All of our students or our parents pay some type of tuition. It's pretty much a nominal tuition. The average tuition being around $70 for our students is based on income. So it is income-based tuition. The balance of that tuition is how we make up for that difference in the tuition that the parents pay is through donors and our community partners, the business community, as well as private funding. The average cost of student per year here at Logos is about $9,300. It's about $9,300 to educate a student each year here. Every student that comes in, even if it's based on income, and their income actually allows them to pay the full tuition, everyone gets a tuition reduction. And I think that's a good way to keep everything equitable because we call it a scholarship. So all of our students are on scholarship. Whether you can afford to pay $9,300 or you can only afford to pay the $70 per month, everybody's on scholarship. So that makes it equitable because everybody's on scholarship. One donor who I talked to, I asked, why do you give to the school? I think it spoke volumes. He said he believes in the students, first of all, and he believes in Logos. He believes in the city. And so with all those 3 combined, why wouldn't he support something like this? School was founded by 2 women, Connie Ray and Tracy Foster, when they saw a need to have a school such as this that would provide a quality education in the heart of the city.
Is it language based? Is it arts driven? I mean, really, when you say classic, what is it referring to?
Classical education basically teaches on truth and beauty. It's not necessarily looking at grade level, although we are very strong academically, but we try to teach the truth and beauty within the whole education component of classical education. We do have, when we talk about classical, we have Latin. The children do have, or the students do have, 2 languages. So we do have Spanish. They start learning Spanish in kindergarten. So it's classically based, and we have components of the curriculum that are totally classical.
Yeah, it presents a picture in my mind of students circling around Socrates.
Yes, that's exactly. Debate, logic, critical thinking, creative thinking, logic, reasoning, all of the above is what we want to instill. We want to have students, when they come out of Logos, they'll be able to make decisions and have the wherewithal to think logically, creatively, and be able to make decisions and come to decisions based on those kinds of things. So we have debate now, and the students just competed in a debate, I believe, with Red Lion, our high school students. So we're really preparing them for college preparatory. It is a college preparatory school. And that's what we strive to do, is to give the students the opportunity. I talked about the pillars of Logos. We're intercultural. That's another one of the pillars, is that we're intercultural. We intentionally want to be intercultural in this school to represent what the world looks like outside. And of course, we're Christ-based. We're a kingdom school, and again, community-based. Here, there's a light in this tower here, and we keep it lit 24/7 because we look towards Logos being a beacon of light in the city. So, 2 quilts that our students do. Every year we have a community project in art. So 2 quilts. Every class participated in these quilts. If you'd like to get in touch with us here at Logos Academy, call us at 717-848-9835. We look forward to hearing from you.